Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This is Rob with Instinct Bassin. Today we're going to go over 10 quick tips that you can use for your Garmin 106 SV or 93 SV ECHOMAP fish finder. Before we get started, make sure you check out the gpsstore.com. They've got some great deals going on all sorts of marine electronics, including these Garmin fish finders. Be sure to check them out. They're our partner for this year. Be sure to hit that like and that subscribe, and stay tuned. I think you'll get some good, useful info out of it. So tip number one is how to get in and out of simulator mode. So simulator mode can be useful for practicing with the unit while you're in your garage, or trying some things out when you're not actually on the water, changing colors, that type of stuff. To get into simulator mode, you're just going to hit the settings button and go to System, Simulator, and then On. Just hit OK here. And then if we go home, click any of these screens, you'll see you're now in simulator mode. Just be sure to get it out of simulator mode before you go back on the water. To do that, we're just going to go back in reverse. And now you're out of simulator mode. All right, now step number two is going to be a little bit related to simulator mode, because you're going to want to do this if you do put it in simulator mode and start messing with the unit in your garage. And that is going to be to disable your sonar. This will show you how to disable it and then re-enable it as well. All you're going to do is hit the power button one time, just click it, enable all sonar. So now my sonar is working. It's not going to show anything because I'm in my garage. Then to disable it, I'll hit it again. Sorry about the focus there. Disable all sonar. And now you'll see that where it says transmission disabled. And now you can go and mess with it and it'll be disabled. So that's how you enable and disable the sonar. You can also do that if you're making a long run and you don't want the sonar on while you're making that run, that type of thing. So that's another useful tip. Stay tuned for number 3. All right, number 3 is going to be how to turn on and off your depth shading. So to turn on and off depth shading, we're going to go into one of our charts. I will use my fishing chart. Let's go to a lake where we can see something. There we go, we'll just use this one. See, I already have it turned on there. So to do that, we'll go to Menu. Then we're going to go up here to Layers, Water, and then Depth Shading. And see that green dot? That means it's on. If I hit this, you can change your settings. Now this is on the 106 SV. It's a little bit different on the 93, but pretty similar. Go back. If I hit this right here, that'll turn it off. See how it went off over here? And hit that again, it'll turn it back on. You just want to make sure that little green light is actually lit up. Our green box. And that's how you turn on and off your depth shading. Okay, so the next tip is going to be how to change your color scheme. This one is currently called Orange Crawfish, but the way you can change your color schemes is to go into the menu and then go to Sonar Setup and Color Scheme. Now again, this will be a little bit different on the 93 SV. This is the 106 that I'm using, but they are very similar in how they get to them. And then that is how you change your colors. I typically like to use the amber color screen, but any of these are good. And it really depends on what type of lake you're fishing in, what type of day, how bright it is outside, and that type of thing. But that is how you change your color scheme. All right, so the next quick tip is going to be how to enable your shortcuts. So you have 4 shortcut buttons right over here. And the way you do that is just to go to a screen. Like I have this one set to number 2. So I'll go to that. I am currently in simulator mode just so it's easier to see what I'm doing. And then I'm just going to hold that down as number 2. It was already saved there, but I just did it again. That way I don't have to redo mine later. And in case you're curious, the way I have mine set up, I have number 1 as the map, number 2 as my clear view, number 3 I have a combination of the map and clear view, and then number 4 I have side view. So that's how I have mine set up. But set them up however you like, but be sure to take advantage of those because it'll make you more efficient on the water. All right, next quick tip is to know the difference between your backlight, your brightness, and your gain, because they are not necessarily the same thing. So your backlight is going to be how bright the screen itself is, and to get that you just touch the power button once, and it's right here, backlight. See, mine set to 100%, and you can change that like so. I usually keep mine at 100% unless I'm gonna be fishing at night, or if I'm starting a tournament that starts, we start launching before the sun comes up. That way it doesn't blind me. But that is what your backlight is. Your brightness is going to be basically how sensitive the clear view or the side view is. So that's what brightness is gonna be. And you can change that by going to menu, and then brightness, and then moving that up or down. But notice it is not the same as backlight. See how it gets rid of the clutter? The higher the brightness is the same as gain. So brightness is on clear view and side view, and then gain is on the 2D sonar. So that's what brightness does. And then if I go in here to the traditional or the 2D, you see here now it's called gain instead of brightness. So just make sure you know what the difference between those are. That was your backlight, your brightness, and your gain. Okay, so the next tip actually took me a little while to figure out how to do, but it is actually pretty intuitive once you learn how to do it. And that is to pause the sonar when you want to create a waypoint. So say I want to create a waypoint on this rock right here. I would go to this pause button right there, and that'll pause the sonar. And now if I touch the screen, boom, it'll create a waypoint right there. I hit mark, boom, and there's my waypoint. And now when I go back into my map, that waypoint will be there. Now I'm in simulator mode, so I'm not gonna mess with seeing if it's actually there or not, because it's probably not a real waypoint. But that is the easiest way to create waypoints from your sonar screens, is to actually pause the screen and then touch on it. You can do it while it's moving too, but it is a lot easier if you pause it first. It'll still be where that part is. So pause the sonar screen to create your waypoints. All right, and our next quick tip involves the navigation section, and that is how to create a route in these units. And this can be very useful when you want to get, say, from one side of the lake to the other, and you want to make sure you do it safely. Now again, I am in simulator mode, so we'll see how well this works. But let's just say I want to go to, let's just say this area right here. So I click on that spot, and now I go to navigate to. Now on a 106 SV or 126 SV, all their ultra units in other words, or if you have the ultra maps downloaded, you can use what's called auto guidance. So I'm not going to use that right now because just in case you have a 93 SV, I want you to know how to do that as well. You can hit go to, but it's going to take you right through this land right here, and we can't do that. So we're going to hit route to. And then we're basically going to draw our route going backwards. Add your turn like that. Add a turn. Add your turn. And then from there, you can hit navigate route. And it'll ask you to engage autopilot. That's because I'm in simulator mode here, so I'm not going to do that. But that is how you plan a route. And see that magenta line now, that purple line? That's the route that we just made. Let's cancel that, and we'll do the auto guidance to show you how to do that if you have an ultra unit. So again, I'm going to go to this spot here, navigate to, and now I'm going to hit auto guidance. It'll take a second, and see now it's actually taking us out here and back around. So it's probably taking into account some kind of depth area that we had set up or you have set up on the unit. All right, so it'll actually take into account whatever depth or safe depth that you have set up in the unit. So obviously keep that in mind when you create these routes as well. So that's what the auto guidance wants us to do. So that's probably what I would do. All right, that's how you use those. That's how you create a route and then also use auto guidance. All right, and our next tip is going to be how to change your overlays. So I'm going to do it from the fishing chart here. And when I say overlays, I mean these 4 quadrants here. All right, so the way you change them is just by holding down on one of them, and then you can change it to whatever you like. Okay, I happen to have that one set to my GPS speed, but you can change that to any of those things that came up. But you do have to make sure that these are on first. Sorry, I keep moving the phone here. In order to do that, we're going to hit menu, and then we're going to hit edit overlays. And that'll tell you what your overlays are. See, if I hit overlay numbers and then I hit hide, how they go away. If I hit show, they come back. And you can also edit the layout and everything like that as well. But that's how you turn them on. You got to turn them on first before you can ever edit them. And again, it's a little bit different on the 93, but very similar. And again, to change them, if I want to change this one, I would click on that and then change it to whatever you like. So for reference, in case somebody wants to know, I have mine set up to where I have the speed here. One, because my boat speedometer doesn't work. I have my time of day here because I like to fish tournaments a lot and I like to know what time of day it is. I have my depth set here because I like to see the depth when I am navigating. And then I have my water temp here because I like to know that as well. If I was going to change one, it would probably be the water temp. Maybe I could change that to the GPS heading or something to that effect. But those are the way I have mine set up. All right, and the next tip is going to be to make sure you network your units if you have more than one. I'm not going to really show it on this because it'll be hard to kind of do in my garage and everything. But if you have a 106 or a 126 SV, in other words, if you have one of those Ultra units, they will come with 2 network ports in the back. And then a 93 SV is going to have 1 network port in the back. So when you network those together, when you go to create a waypoint, anywhere on these maps, say if I create a waypoint here, create waypoint, it's going to automatically put it on the other units as well. And that can be useful when you go from your console graph to the bow, for instance. So if I was in, let's say I am in, let's use side view as a better example. Let's say I'm in side view, and if I wanted to create a waypoint here at this rock, I again would pause the sonar, create my waypoint like that. You can hit mark there, or you can hit new waypoint up here. Either way you want to do it. When I hit mark there, now when I go up on the map on the bow unit, it's going to be there, and I'm going to be able to turn my trolling motor around and fish this spot. So that's why you want to have your units networked together, or one of the reasons why you want to have them networked together. You can also do it to see certain screens on other screens. Like for instance, I could see my Panoptics from the front unit on this screen. This is simulator mode again, but I could do it if I wanted to. I could put my trolling motor in the water, let it drive me around, and then look right here at what that screen is showing me. So that's another reason why you would want to network them together. So be sure to network your units together if you got more than one. All right, that does it for today's video. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for checking out those 10 tips. Like I said in the intro, be sure to check out the GPSstore.com for some great deals on electronics. I'll leave a link down below. Be sure to check out that. It'll help out the channel. Also, be sure to like and subscribe. Around 90% of my viewers are not subscribed, so please do that. It'll definitely help out the channel, help out the algorithm. Thanks so much again. This is Rob, Instinct Bassin. Trust your gut, and I'll see you on the water.